It is 11:55 in the morning in Eastern Standard Time, March 3rd, 2021. So I'm needing to get myself in order. It's always extra hard. I can feel that what I'm breathing in is traveling straight up my nose and affecting my brain. And I've never voluntarily done drugs, whether through inhalation or otherwise. And God blessed me with a high-functioning brain, and I appreciate it. And I've only done and endeavored to do good with it. I've never, made fun of anybody else if their brain wasn't functioning so optimally or what have you. But I've had these people make fun of me, which helped me know that there's something really awry with the doctors involved and what have you, that rather than trying to actually abide by the Hippocratic Oath, they were actually seeking to harm, and they actually think it's hilarious. I was describing symptoms to them when I was in Aurora, Colorado, of like taking a step, and I guess related to my balance or what have you, processing, it would feel like the floor is sinking in or so, and I heard snickering from when I said it on the phone, so that they could have hijacked the call. But some of the other things that happened were obviously doctors there. Some doctors there under Dr. John Anthony Sabarbro were heavily involved, and I would try to get help, and they would have a memo, and they'd be just trying to sidetrack the whole visit to like, do you want to kill yourself, or Dr. Sabarbro? Like, I wouldn't even have brought up Dr. Sabarbro. It was really disgusting and scary, and I can hardly believe that they're doing all of this again, because also my default is I would normally have my health, appearance, and functioning be working fine, but they're deliberately setting me back and doing everything to shepherd me to their people, to not let me get especially to prevent me from being seen by neurology, somebody properly qualified in neurology who's not in their pocket on top. But even really, I noticed they just seem, I don't think, maybe there's not that many neurology people in their pocket or willing to go that way, because they just seem really intent to prevent me from actually getting any real neurology consult. So one time I had I don't even think I can bring myself to go there right now. I have documented it before, but it was before I knew what was going on. It was one of those doctors that was under Dr. Sabarbro, and he actually asked me, like, have you ever been raped? And like, he said it was for a pamphlet, to hand out to people a pamphlet. Oh my God. I just realized I didn't even make that connection before. I just said it aloud. When I was in downtown Toronto, and I'd just gone there from Colorado, because friends said maybe try Canada again. Things had gotten so bad, and how I was obviously being targeted by these organized predators in Colorado. And I see the twitching going on under my left eye. Every time I went to walk my dogs, one man after the other that was obviously military or paramilitary by the way they were assigned, they came marching and what have you, said, have you ever been raped? A total stranger, obviously assigned, a different man every time I went out to walk my dogs. I was staying at the Sheraton Center in downtown Toronto. There was all sorts of other weird things going on there as well. So these people had apparently flashed badges, and they had things rigged up. I got a letter, it's posted, from a representative of a major bank there. And she wasn't the only one, but she went ahead and wrote a letter, but she wasn't the only one who talked about this. Especially women were noticing, and this must be something targeted more to the women, or affecting more to the women, but I think also deliberately, not just by happenstance, affecting more women, noticing and feeling the effects, talking about brain fog, mental fog, and things like that, difficulty concentrating, headaches that they don't normally have. And the women, they were abusing the public speaker system in that area, at least in downtown Toronto, through that Sheraton Center, which is attached to Eaton Center, and the Eaton Center, what have you, that bank was in that strip connecting the two. So part of that overall center. And she wrote a letter, it's from TD Bank, saying that there's been a strange repetitive music that had been going on, it went on for at least a good month that I was there. I went there from Christmas Day. I was there basically until at least the very end of January, maybe into the very beginning of February. I was looking for an apartment, and the apartment I did find, these people had shepherded me to, and they set up with all the audio stuff. And I actually have a letter from a building guard at that building, because it's a male, but he was sensitive to it. He was getting, maybe his hearing was somewhat more sensitive or something. He was complaining about the strange sound frequencies. It wasn't loudness, it was they were neurologically disruptive. That's where they'd moved in their quote audio engineering consultant within 3 days to a nearby apartment on the same floor, that was also referring back to Colorado, referring to their concerns. He actually referred to them trying to trick me into thinking I needed a doctor, and they were worried about Senator Barbara Boxer and me having complained to the Canadian consulate. And I was like, I realized I started recording shortly after I heard him talk about the Canadian consulate as well, because I realized he was there assigned for me because I had complained to the Canadian consulate in Denver, Colorado. And at this point now, this was in, remember, downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So there's no Canadian consulate in Canada. They were referring to the Canadian consulate, outside of Canada, where I just complained. But I hadn't said anything. I hadn't been thinking anything about Senator Boxer. She was not on my radar. She's out of California. And so it got me checking, and then I found out that she is the senator behind commissioning the human pesticide experiments report. And there's been all sorts of intrigue with that. And so I need to take steps to check exactly, but it's obvious they've been using stuff in the category of drugs and poisons. Like, it's not just happening to be both, like a drug that's also poisonous to you. They're doing something meaning to drug me, because I think maybe they wanted to help get me to act a certain way, since they're trying to claim that I'm not mentally competent. My mother's tried to make her grabs for total control over me, what have you. So guardianship, conservatorship, whatever. And they're also doing stuff to just be poisoning me in the meanwhile. Like, if it doesn't work, I guess, like, they want to make me not be able to live, except that I end up under their control. It's very obvious. So at least it's been made very obvious to me, and I'm sure that's by design. So, like, no, you're not going to even be allowed to breathe anywhere safely, so we're going to be poisoning you until you are dead unless you do what we want. So, and it's being very coordinated by my mother. I think without her involvement wouldn't still be going on, because I'm turning 50 this year, assuming I live that long. So, but I think they finally made some mistake. They finally got enough rope to hang themselves, because even with all their high shielding, I was waiting to see if enough, like, other people besides just me think that, yeah, it's very obvious that they've been doing this. And I just got a good critical mass of feedback in response to a message I sent out last night, where I think this network finally got enough rope to hang themselves with the most recently seen assigned predator coming right outside my door to be repoisoning the breathing environment, which they've been heavy-handedly doing for someone over 2 years. Since October 2018. Travel was my first travel of 3 travels I made to Albany, New York, trying to get help from state government. So I'm going to do my darndest to, I can't dye my hair in the meanwhile, because that is, I don't want to say too much right now, but I am, believe me, I'm intending to have things tested. So apparently regular shampoo and stuff shouldn't throw it off, but apparently there's some shampoos that can throw it off, or some even marketed for that, like people that actually are worried to try to not have things show up on a test. But a hair dye thing can prevent the testing from showing up stuff. So I know that makes you look years older too, but I'm more concerned about stuff that's not like fixable with a bottle of, hair color. I should not have, I understand my age, but understand I've taken excellent care lifelong of my skin and with my genes and with my habits. Normally I'm not, I'm not breathing in drugs and what have you that are also skin corrosive and everything. These people are doing it to me. And anyway, this is almost 10 minutes now. I'll see if I can maybe shrink it into a small enough video I can send it to some friends. I'm going to try not to post it, because I just, I worked in state repertory theater, and I've worked hard lifelong, and I just started, despite all the interferences, getting to where I have some options right now to participate in some television projects and what have you, but not if I'm going to be looking like this. And it's a real, it's really criminal what these people are doing, deliberately forcing this onto me. And they put their puppets out there pretending to be like real, journalists or what have you, to feed people garbage. And they're doing stuff like this to people who, I it's not just journalism. I mean, I do real journalism. I'm not in their pocket, so that's apparently a problem for them. But also I like to work on my creative projects. I run an action sci-fi series and what have you, and I have people that would be happy to work with me on that. And that was not an easy process. That was a more than a 10-year process. People that would be happy to work on me with it, that together we can actually make it happen. But again, not if, one of the characters, it's like, it's not, I didn't try to make it like the main character, but it's like an ensemble cast, and it's like a character that can know what's going on with the other characters, like, which I thought would be perfect for like the person that's like writing the thing, right? And then have a character that I can like anchor things as far as making reference to things that I'm aware of, to show about other characters in the story, what have you. But I won't be able to be involved in it and what have you, and even behind the scenes, the brain power to be creating more episode installments and everything, if this is going to keep getting done. So it's just, on every level, personally, professionally, avocationally, what have you, this needs to be made to stop. So otherwise there's no kind of life worth living anyway. Not that I've ever been suicidal, but I mean, that's a fact. So they had gotten me to looking like literally over 70s in my age, which I think is probably maybe still hard to believe without seeing it. And I had gotten the video evidence, and I had texted it to a friend. She texted, I think she put it by text, and when she told me that they like sniped that message, the photos out of her device, and they've been doing all sorts of things. I have to keep like refinding, because I have multiple devices, and I'll re-back up stuff on other devices and stuff, but I haven't gotten a chance to organize it properly, so it does take me time to like, search through archives and stuff and pull stuff up again. And there's other stuff. They at least temporarily disappeared several laptops. I've been hearing, like, including from the person believed to be my mother, and I think she was primarily at least coordinated, involved with that, and she said they're there in my storage. So they're probably, I talked to a very psychically advanced friend. She thinks they are going to be there in my storage. I was trying to figure out how they would pull that off, since they made the point to tell me that, I better make sure not to lose the key, because the storage facility doesn't keep the key, whatever. And then when I went back, they gave me a new pair of keys, said something had happened, some fire alarm, whatever, and so they had to go and check all the units and put new keys on all of those units, whatever. So they gave me the new pair of keys. So that's probably when they did it. They put the laptops back. But I still need a place to settle enough that I could get my things and sort through them, what have you. They've been keeping me from doing that. I'm in a hotel right now. But anyway, let me try to give like nice energy for saying. Thank you for keeping a watchful eye on me, and hopefully things will turn around for the better soon. I'll have better news for you soon, and look better. Being able to deliver it, be able to look better as well too, back to my normal self, without the poisoned version of me, poisoned and drugged version of me, involuntarily so, and non-therapeutically and criminally so. Okay, thank you, and God bless you.